Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going through a step-by-step plan on what you guys should do to approach learning how to code, right? This is going to be covering how you guys should start learning, what kind of resources you should use, what kind of plans you guys should make if you should make projects and all this kind of stuff. And basically, I wanted to make a plan for you guys to start coding and maximize your chances of success so that you don't give up, you're not going to get burnt out, it's not too hard for you, and you guys actually end up succeeding. So if you're new to the channel, my name is John Vine. What we do here is we talk about software engineering. I try to use my experience to give you guys tips on achieving your goals of becoming full-time software engineers as well. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. I think right now around 90% of you guys are not actually subscribed that watch this channel. So subscribe definitely helps the channel a lot. So let's get right into the video. So the first thing you want to do, right, if you decided you want to learn how to code, you want to become a software engineer, you have to actually pick a language, right? This part is not important at all. You might think, you might want to spend days or weeks deciding what language you should choose. But in my opinion, it doesn't really matter at all what language you start with. The important thing is that you actually gain all the foundational knowledge and what a if statement is, for loops, how memory works and all this kind of stuff that is kind of the groundwork for becoming a software developer. You kind of have to know all these things. So as long as you learn all these concepts, the language you pick does not matter. So what you want to do is, within the first couple of days, definitely as quickly as possible, get over this obstacle of like, what language should I choose? If you have no idea, just pick JavaScript. That's what I would do. But, if you have absolutely no idea, what I would do to pick a language is, think about what kind of stuff you want to work on, right? So for example, if you want to work on iOS apps and make your own apps, then, check out Swift. Check out things like React Native. If you want to work on backend, maybe work on stuff like Node.js or Python, but essentially take what you want to work on. So let's say an iOS app, and then you just Google what technologies, what programming languages do I need to know to make iOS apps? And basically from there, it doesn't have to be apps, obviously, whatever you want to work on, but from there, you basically get an idea of what kind of languages you have to learn, what kind of text you should focus on, and then you can go forward from there. Once you pick a language, we can actually move forward and start learning how to code. So now that you've picked the language and you know where you want to start, what I would do is find some resources online to learn the language that you decide and actually start learning how to code. So there's a ton of free resources online, there's a ton of paid resources online, and this tutorial is going to be focusing on the perspective of someone who's going to be a self-taught developer, right? I'm not going to assume that in this tutorial, we're not going to be, talking about going to college or going to a boot camp. This is just if you want to teach yourself how to code and kind of be job ready within 6 months to a year. Great free resource online is Free Code Camp. There's also stuff like Code Academy, there's Udemy, there's Treehouse, there's Educative is another great resource. Harvard also, a ton of universities give free computer science courses online that they actually give to their students, and they're actually publicly available. So Harvard has a ton of CS 50, it's called, and they have an intro to computer science course, they have an intro to backend development, intro to game development, an intro to web development, I think. So they have a ton of awesome free courses from Harvard that people pay, tens of thousands of dollars for. And these courses are just there. So I would definitely take advantage of these before, you start paying for some exorbitant course or stuff like that. Definitely spend a week or two, take a free course, see if you actually like coding before you actually, take the next step and start, going crazy and really go full out on learning how to code, right? So once you kind of, found the course that you want to take, what you want to do is you want to start the course, take some notes, start absorbing information, because at this point, you're brand new to coding. So when you actually start taking a course that you've decided online, you're gonna be spending time and absorbing a lot of information. This is a really good thing. But the most important thing you want to do is actually take notes and be able to retain this information so that you can actually apply it later. You don't want to be just going back through your notes and looking through it every time, right? Take your own notes so you can be able to reference different stuff later. And the most important thing you want to actually do is then actually spend some time coding and applying what you just learned in whatever course you just took, right? So if you just finished the lecture, you just spent an hour reading through slides, whatever it may be, then the next step to actually learn and retain what you've learned is to apply it and maybe code a little type of app using what you just learned, or take what you just learned and apply it to an app that you already have. But you want to just see if you actually like it. That's the most important thing. This first couple of days or couple of weeks that you're learning how to code, really just dip your feet in, kind of start coding, get a feel for it and see if you like it. And then, once you actually know that you like it, you really want to slow roll into it, because you don't want to go full out right away, because you're going to get burnt out and you're going to get, you're going to give up because it's going to be too hard or too confusing. You really want to ease your way into it. So once you've actually determined that you like coding, you want to really, go hard. This will be a couple of days or maybe a week or two. Will take time to really establish this. But yeah, so once you decided, I really want to learn, I actually like coding and this is for me, you're going to want to make a plan of how to learn, right? So what I'm talking about is plan every month, plan every week, and plan every day that you're going to spend learning how to code, right? This is especially important if you have a full-time job, if you have school, if you have any other responsibilities, you have kids. Planning your time is super important, because if you're working 9 to 5, then okay, that's already 8 hours you can't work. Then you have to make dinner, you have to take care of your children, you have to take them to soccer practice. So slowly the time starts going away. So you really have to have a locked in amount of time every single day where you're going to work. For example, 7 to 9 p.m. is my nightly study time, and my family will not bother me at this time, right? Something that I would do, if I was in that kind of position, I would probably spend 2 hours a day studying, 1 hour a day on reading, and then 1 hour a day actually coding. But what you want to actually do is start coding as soon as possible. Way too many people spend too much time taking courses, reading, watching videos, and they never actually start coding. But once the earlier you can start coding, the earlier you'll actually see success and the more progress you're going to see. When you're going to start making this plan, there's a couple of things you have to incorporate, right? You have to incorporate when you're going to study, what kind of topics you're going to learn, and then when you're going to actually be coding. And you also want to add a lot of deadlines. So from day one, when you're making this plan, you want to start from day one. You want to actually be coding. You want to be coding every single day. What I would do is kind of make a 2 or 3 month plan. So you guys can use this as well. I had just finished the week of coding. I decided that I really like it and I want to make a plan to actually learn. What I would do is make a 2 or 3 month plan, and you start off, right? Your first week, every single week, you want to complete a side project. So set a deadline for yourself. Every Sunday, you want to have a project fully complete, and then you want to start the new project on the Monday, for example. And once a week, you want to start off with super small side projects, but every week you're going to be completing a side project, right? Just, imagine a calendar and you have, every Sunday side project due. The first week you're going to work on, JavaScript. You're going to work on the course that you took on, lectures 1, 2, and 3. The second week you're going to start lectures 4, 5, and 6. And you can kind of plan out based on whatever course you're taking or whatever you're using to learn. You can kind of plan out a curriculum for yourself. So one of the things you want to start doing, after 3 or 4 weeks have gone by, maybe more than that, it doesn't really matter. But once you have a couple of small projects under your belt, you're going to want to increase the intensity. And you're going to want to, start making more complex side projects, right? So you're going to maybe want to spend 2 weeks per project at this point, or 3 weeks or a month, whatever you want to do, guys. There's no rules here, but just make a plan that you think you can stay consistent with, and that'll make you stay accountable, and that you can actually complete. So then, a month goes by. Now you're doing a project every 2 weeks. So another month goes by. Now, you've been coding for 2 months. You have 4 or 5, maybe 6 projects. And now you're ready to kind of take that next step, right? Because, you feel a lot more confident. So you can start working on a more complex side project. Or you can start taking another course of, more in-depth JavaScript topics that you can apply to your coding projects. But the most important thing is what you're going to realize is after these 2-3 months of you just learning how to code, these months are going to go by very quickly. And when they're done, you're going to notice how much knowledge you have because you took the time to work on side projects, to apply what you've learned, and you didn't rush into it. So at this point, you can really start working on more complex projects. And, you can start working on something that you can put on your resume, because once, you can tackle more complex issues, you've worked more with the language and you have more knowledge, you can work on stuff that's harder to build. And, when you can put that on your resume, that's when, we can start talking about, applying to jobs or, trying to actually become a full-time software engineer. And this is definitely a couple of months down the road. I'm talking 4, 5, 6 months, maybe more than that, maybe a year. But what the important thing is that everyone is different, and as long as you have a plan that you can stay consistent with and that you can actually complete, then that's the goal, and that's all that matters, is how you are on your own track and if you are actually making progress and achieving your goals. So guys, the most important things are to not rush into learning how to code. You don't want to start off too much. You don't want to start building Facebook right away because you want to be a billionaire. You want to start off, with the most basic concepts, You want to start coding with the most basic side projects and slow roll it, and then, get a snowball effect and grow from there. Another thing you want to do is kind of realize, kind of try dipping your feet in the water first in terms of coding and seeing if you actually enjoy it before you start making a plan that's going to take 3 months, maybe to a year, and you're going to follow it, right? You really have to enjoy the process and see that this is actually for you. And the most important part of this whole process, guys, in my opinion, is making a plan, planning out every single month, every single week, every single day, and really sticking to it, staying consistent, and building projects every single week. You want to build projects every single week and start coding as early as possible. I think, guys, if you have followed all the steps in this plan and kind of, made a plan for yourselves, I think, within a year, you guys can definitely have enough side projects under your belt, have enough, time spent coding. And if you really plan out your time well and stay consistent, I think, after a year, you guys can definitely apply for jobs and start getting into the field and into the industry. It doesn't have to be a year. These are all just examples of time frames, because obviously it's different for everyone. But yeah, I think if you guys follow this plan, make a plan of your own and stick to it, you can definitely achieve success. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's anything here you disagree with, anything you agree with. I really tried to make a plan here that everyone can follow and that's broad enough for everyone. So let me know if you guys like this content. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. That greatly helps me out. And as always, guys, take it easy. Peace.